What's up, everyone? Dan here, Crypto Capital Venture, June 20th, 2019. Thank you for coming by. Quick live stream. I wanted to go live right now. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do a video tonight. I don't know what's going to happen. Nothing. Nothing might happen from where we are right now, especially since I'm doing a live stream. Oftentimes, I'll do a live stream in the middle of a Bitcoin move, and then nothing happens after I start going live. What's up, Tech Lords? But I did want to do a video just because I wanted to talk a little bit about Bitcoin as well as Litecoin together in one video. Did a Bitcoin video earlier. You can check that out if you'd like. Probably a little bit more in depth in terms of context of what we're talking about today. But hope everybody's doing good right now. Bitcoin, almost 10,000, just over 9,500. What's up, Wendell, Bobby? Going to give it a couple minutes. If you're a replay viewer, just hit that timestamp below in the pinned comment, and you can kind of hop around the video if you'd like. We're going to talk about a little Bitcoin, a little Litecoin, a little Google Trends, and we'll see what happens. Ken says, new enough to your channel, liking your vids and your presentation. Thank you so much, Ken. I appreciate that. Thank you for subscribing. I really appreciate that. Do you think the halving price for Litecoin is already factored in? I do. I think a lot of it is factored in. If I were to guess, right, this could go either way. If I were to guess, though, going into the next halving, we're going to have some type of pullback, some type of consolidation. All we know is the last halving, we didn't get a halving, and then, the day of or the day after, we went to the moon. That didn't happen. And I think that's a misconception that a lot of people have of Litecoin, and because I think the hype of the halving makes you, if you're new to the space at least, subconsciously think, oh, the halving is going to come, and the day of the halving or the week of the halving, price is going to go crazy, and that's just not the case, at least historically, for Bitcoin as well, right? So we know the second Bitcoin halving, that didn't happen, and this is the second Litecoin halving, so it's all the data we have. Anything can happen, though, everybody. Litecoin can moon to $1,000 the day after the halving. I don't know. Would be awesome, though. Would be very awesome. I bet you Tech Lords has a couple different thoughts than what I'm thinking. But earlier today I tweeted Bitcoin looking like it's getting ready to do something spectacular, and that was at $9,300. What time was that? 11:06 a.m. We go to the 4-hour chart real quick to just kind of give you a sense of why I tweeted it. It's simply because we started breaking this upper trend line on this ascending triangle on the 4-hour chart on Bitcoin. So the setup was there, right? Whether or not this continues, whether or not we hit our target, which is just about 10,000, whether or not we hit the target, up for debate, right? But I tweeted that simply because the setup is there. We broke the upper trend line. Will we revisit the trend line, right? Will we have a short-term consolidation? Possibly. But I tweeted it, and that's what we're going to talk about in this video. I also tweeted Litecoin. I said Litecoin is set up for a move to $155 plus if Bitcoin hits target to 10K. And Sarah just texted me, so hold on one second. Litecoin currently trading within two bullish continuation patterns, symmetrical and ascending triangles. So we have it there. We're going to dig into that a little bit. I think the setup is there as well, right? There's a ton of bullish setup right now for Bitcoin and Litecoin. And one of the things that we have to have is patience. Before we jump into the charts in a couple minutes, I was trying to find, I'm pretty sure it was eCurrency Hodler. I saw him tweet or retweeted something earlier today in regards to Google Trends, and his tweet was in regards to Litecoin. We're going to look at Litecoin, but I think it's interesting to always kind of revisit this every once in a while. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Google Trends. This is Google Trends for Bitcoin in the past 12 months, right? So obviously we have this decline, going back. This is to last July. We're in the bear market. Things are whatever. And we had a little bit of a hype in November just to December 2018, more decline. But what's happened since March? We see it. This is potentially the beginning, and this is the illustration of what Bitcoin looks like from a social perspective exiting a bear market, right? And essentially what's funny is it's just data, right? And in this social data, we have a series of higher highs and higher lows. So, by the way, this is fresh squeezed watermelon, everybody. Fresh. I'm gonna spotlight a new juice every time I'm on this on a live stream. So right now, Bitcoin at $9,600. We're gonna look at that in a second. What I want to do is I want to look at Litecoin. Litecoin 30 days. Actually, it wasn't 30 days. First, I want to look at Litecoin 12 months and kind of get a sense of what Litecoin has been doing. Same exact thing as Bitcoin. Litecoin, if you go to the 30-day chart, right? Actually, we want to go to let's go to the 90-day. If you go to Litecoin on the 90-day, and that was Bitcoin. I'm an idiot. If we go to Litecoin on the 90-day, this is really what I wanted to show you. It's actually awesome to look at, and it gives you a little teaser of what to expect, I think, in a bull market, right? So Litecoin on the 90-day, we have these jumps that we can just see the date, right? Here's a May 27th jump. Here's a June 12th jump in Litecoin. So let's take those two dates alone, May 27th and June 12th for Litecoin. I want to go to the daily chart and just look. May 27th, boom, right here. Look at that. That is a swing high, which is the very beginning of a bullish symmetrical triangle continuation pattern in synergy with social search, right? And then we had June 12th. Boom, June 12th right here. Again, a swing high, the very beginning of this most recent symmetrical triangle, which we actually broke through the upper trend line in synergy. Once again, the harmony of it all is awesome. It's actually fun to look at. I didn't spend a lot of time on this. I just pulled this up before I went live. But very interesting that Litecoin makes a move and we see the reaction. It's common sense if you think about it. People are going to be searching Bitcoin and Litecoin when the price goes up. It's going to happen. It happened in the last bull market. It happened in the last bull run. It's why views go up on YouTube. If you're on Twitter, I know we have a lot of people on Twitter. It's why you get a ton of followers the days when Bitcoin and Litecoin are going up, because people are reacting to it. It's common sense why it happens. People are raising their eyebrow. They're like, what is going on with Bitcoin and Litecoin? Why didn't I buy $22 Litecoin? Why didn't I buy a $3,500 Bitcoin a few months ago? And they're raising their eyebrows. They're searching for it. But it's a teaser of what is to come from a social perspective in terms of people, I don't want to use the word FOMOing in, but people just, looking deeply into Bitcoin and Litecoin once again. This is just the beginning in my opinion. This is a 90-day Litecoin search term on Google Trends. We have it, just since May, higher highs and higher lows. It's funny to look at because it's what the charts look like. I think the key is, if you're investing in Bitcoin and Litecoin, is to react quicker than what you see on the screen, and react quicker than how the people on the screen are reacting to Bitcoin and Litecoin price going up. Searches, June 12th, this is like a week ago, June 12th, right? Litecoin, go to the daily once again. Where is this? June 12th, right here, right? Searches at a high that day, right? That's a swing high. We were living in it already, but there were a lot of people right here new searching Litecoin that day, potentially reacting, right? A reactive search, not really prepared in terms of accumulation, potentially, if new to the markets, FOMOing in, buying the top, buying that swing high right here. And then obviously, nothing new to us, but from that swing high, Litecoin went down 13% in the next 2 to 3 days. And I think if there's one thing that we can do, if you've been here for a while in the crypto space, is to try and, educate people that are coming into the space because they're reacting to price going up. One of the best things we can do is educate them in terms of not FOMOing, in terms of letting them know the volatility of it all, how volatile things can be even in a bullish market, right? Litecoin making bullish move beginning of April, right? And actually continuing after that, but right in the middle of that, 34% to the downside. That's something, and I don't think you can see my screen, but yes, you can see it. 34% to the downside. Many of you probably calm, cool, and collected, but anybody new that's searching on April 6th, probably freaking out a little bit. If we go to Google Trends, I don't think April, yeah, actually, here it is, April 2nd, 3rd, first, here it is. There's that high search, probably people FOMOing in, new people to crypto buying Litecoin, and they're in for a 30% or so pullback. So those are things that we can be prepared for in terms of price. I'll get off this now because I've been talking about this for around 10 minutes. We can go to the charts now. Bitcoin. When I was just talking, I saw Bitcoin at $9,600. Is that going to be our new resistance area for the short term? I don't know, but let's talk about what's going on. First things first, I just want to point out, I know that probably I feel like most people doing technical analysis stuff are probably charting something at this point that has a similar rising wedge like I do, right? I have a rising wedge there, but probably charting it more something like this at this point, right? We have this data of swing low back in, beginning of June 9th, June 10th. We have that there, right? So essentially you definitely can update your lower trend line there. Maybe some people have watched my videos and wonder why I haven't. There's two reasons. Number one, I like when we have a pattern that was in play, still in play, right? Even after a trend line has been broken. So what I'm talking about there is this rising wedge we were tracking over here, right? You can say, oh, that pattern broke to the downside, it's a dead pattern. But for me, it's not a dead pattern, simply because Bitcoin didn't hit a target to the downside out of that break, first of all. And second of all, it momentum shifted in that we've actually just approached still the bottom trend line of that pattern. So for me, that bottom trend line is still acting as an indicator for me. It's helping me in my own technical analysis. And it provides a lot of data in terms of potential resistance that might be just ahead of us, especially we'll see on the 4-hour chart when we dig in here. Now, in terms of speaking to that lower trend line, this orange line here, right? Here's start, and here's the finish of this line I'm talking about. That's totally, you can totally kind of have that there in play. The other thing I want to throw out there is I don't like this wick on the daily chart. This happened so quickly. I don't think it's that reliable, but you can have it, you can use it. So we have a touch there. We have a second touch here. We obviously have our upper trend line still in play. But either way, no matter if you're tracking the pattern I'm tracking, right, and we're trying to bust through that pattern to the upside, extremely bullish when you have a busted pattern. We had a busted pattern back here, very similar, and look at the 40% move that Bitcoin did going through that. If we get a similar thing, this is an even larger pattern. This is something that could take us into the $12,000, $13,000 area. In terms of this lower trend line, though, it is, it's in play if you want to use it, right? You can definitely use it. And as of right now, what I'm looking at is a couple things. That trend line there can totally act as a pullback area, right? This would be a continuation of this rising wedge. Bitcoin gets a pullback down to this area around, $81, $8,200 for a higher low, for some short-term consolidation. As of right now, that could happen, right? And in synergy with that, a target, if we're still using this pattern, this white pattern back here of higher highs and higher lows, the target as of today really is actually exactly at this lower trend line. So whatever pattern you're looking at right now, pullback area, if we get one, I'm not sitting here saying it's coming. I always like to look at downside scenarios, but from where we are right now, a 15% pullback to $81, $8,200, 100% in play. I'm feeling very, very bullish. I'm excited today with Bitcoin just kind of trading strongly above $9,000, right now above $9,500. But if you know me, I'm always talking about downside, the potential for it, because it exists. It's very real, and it can happen very quickly. Just throwing that out there, not going to spend a lot of time on it $8,200 in that general vicinity. Nice area for a pullback if we got one. For context, we've been kind of tracking this rising wedge pattern for around 39 days. Took 36 days for that last rising wedge pattern to get that busted wedge confirmed to the upside. That's when we saw our 40% gains. So in terms of what we're looking at to the upside, we have our breakout target for this pattern that I've been talking about right here, above 12,700 or so. So that's kind of our extremely bullish breakout area. We have a ways to go before we get there, if we get there. From where we're trading right now, that is around 30%, a little bit more than 30% to the upside. Let's go to the 4 hour, and we kind of see like, all right, what's actually the path of us hitting that area. And then, right now, probably the most reliable pattern you can watch right now is this ascending triangle on Bitcoin 4 hour. You see it here. Breakout is essentially right up to here in this $10,000, $9,900, $10,000 area. And you see, since I'm using that, I just changed charts. Since I'm still using, here's this rising wedge that I just talked about that I'm still using for technical analysis. And since I am, you see that the breakout target of this ascending triangle right here is perfectly confluent with this lower trend line. So in that $9,900, $10,000 area, two things. Number one, could be potentially a dicey area of resistance. So we can use it to kind of anticipate and just watch what happens. But on the flip side, if Bitcoin kind of just like trains itself through, like just pummels through that $9,900, $10,000 area, since it's a resistance area, and since if it gets broken so easily, that gives us a nice indicator in terms of this might have some steam. The bulls might have some steam right now in terms of where we're going, right? So that second upper trend line area of that pattern, right around 10,100, 10,200, right here, right? So this whole area, 10,000 to 10,200. I don't know if we're going to get there today. If we do, keep an eye on it, because if we break it strongly, then the potential for this target to the upside over $12,000 extremely in play. Benjamin, sorry for the fiat. Dan, LTC in the Elapal cold storage. All good, dude. You don't never be sorry for super chatting me, even if it's in fiat. I appreciate that, Benjamin. Thank you so much for the super chat for Launchpad Foundation. You're awesome, and I'm happy to hear your LTC is locked up in cold storage. That's what I'm talking about. Setting an example, Benjamin. Appreciate it, man. So there's our target for Bitcoin, 12,700. That's the very, very bullish target, short term on the 4 hour. There it is. It's literally 9,900, 10,000. The pattern's worked out like that, right? Everybody's talking about 10,000, but it's actually a breakout targets in terms of this 4 hour pattern. If we look at, and I'm not going to spend time on this too much. I talked about it already earlier in today's video. We look at where we are in terms of the 4 hour chart. Very interesting to see the similarities of where we are in the 4 hour today, right? As well as when we got our breakouts through all the similar resistance back in the beginning of May, right? And here essentially was this breakout. Litecoin, or I'm sorry, man, I got Litecoin on my mind, everybody. I got Litecoin on my mind. Bitcoin, I'm actually going to zoom in so you can see this, because of course there's similarities, and I'll show you the similarity on this RSI here in the 4 hour. Here we are today, right? You can see that just above my head, and then here we are in this breakout back then, right? Pretty much in an identical area, right? We just came from overbought on the RSI, came down, and beginning of May, Bitcoin broke up. Now, let's just zoom in, and it's very interesting to see the similarities. As that was happening, Bitcoin was, what was it doing? Breaking through a similar pattern, pretty much, ascending triangle, and you saw it here, right? So the question that I'm kind of asking and evaluating myself and waiting to see is, Are we getting a similar move? These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 4-hour candles, 8 4-hour candles that are green, followed by short-term consolidation and continuation, right? So right now, we're getting a similar move in terms of RSI momentum. We have a break through the upside. So the question is, what's going to happen in the next 8 4-hour candles? Let's just call it in the next 24 hours, even though that would be 32 hours. Let's call it 24 hours. Are we going to get nice closing 4-hour candles above? Are we going to hit our target right here in the next 24 to 32 hours, similar to that last move? It's going to be exciting to watch going into tomorrow, into this weekend. Poseidon Lou, I see you, dude. 1999 using my favorite emoji. I wish you were going this weekend. Thank you so much for the super chat, Launchpad Foundation, dude. You are the man. I don't know what else to say. Can't wait to take you out to dinner, dude. I really can't. It'll be great to treat you. Thank you for the super chat. So that's Bitcoin. That's what we're looking at. I don't know, $9,500 right now. Come on, Bitcoin. Just break 10,000 while I'm doing a live stream, please. Litecoin. Here's Litecoin. We spent a little bit of time just talking about it briefly when we're talking about Google Trends, but what are we looking at? I mean, I tweeted, so my tweet earlier was just an hour ago. Litecoin is set up for a move to 155 if Bitcoin hits its target to 10K. The reason I said why, there are some instances where Bitcoin's kind of moving a little, Litecoin's not doing anything. And just from my observation, usually when that's happening, if Bitcoin at this time decides, you know what, I'm going to consolidate right now, I'm going to go back down to $9,000, Litecoin's most likely not going to bullishly move, okay? I don't think Litecoin's going to hit a target of 155 if Bitcoin's consolidating down to $9,000. So that's kind of why I said Litecoin is set up for a move to 155 if Bitcoin hits a target to 10K. A continuation of Bitcoin right now, maybe saving some time. Litecoin will, I believe, bullishly break out of its pattern. And I said Litecoin currently trading within 2 bullish continuation patterns, the symmetrical and ascending triangles, and we can go, let's go to the 4-hour, break it down. This is the 4-hour on Litecoin right here. So we have our symmetrical triangle we've been tracking, and here's the thing. Here's what's actually really cool. We've been tracking this symmetrical triangle since, you can't say since June 10th. That's really the beginning of the formation. But, we got a swing low, we got another swing high, and then I think that's probably really when we started tracking it, 5 days ago or so. What's really cool is, we have our symmetrical triangle in white there, but the other day we started talking about the potential for an ascending triangle, right? And we needed some time for it to mature, and right now it's really beginning to mature, right? So I forget exactly where we were trading when I talked about it. I really forget. It could have been right here. I think it was right there. I was talking about the potential for this to be a second swing high resistance at the upper trend line of this red line here, right? So here's the upper trend line. And then the potential for a third swing low to really confirm this bullish pattern. So since then, it's bugging me now. I don't even remember when I did the video. I'm finding out right now though. I think I think it might have been yesterday. It might have been yesterday's video. So we might have been up here. Or we might have just bounced off of there. So since then, we have potentially a new swing low. I don't know if this is going to be the higher low right here, right? It could be right here, down here, like 131. So if Bitcoin consolidates and Litecoin consolidates, I don't know. I don't know where it's going to be. But if Litecoin right now had a swing low of around $133, then we have an ascending triangle in play, right? We have 2 touches to the upper trend line, and then we'd have 1, 2, 3 higher lows for Litecoin. And then from there, it's kind of, well, what happens from where we're trading now to the apex of the actual triangle, right? And so we know that we get bullish breaks more towards 70% or so to the apex of the ascending triangle, and we can see date range wise. I'm just curious. Let's put the apex like right there, 78 days, and we're 37 in. So 37 divided by 78, 47% to the apex. Doesn't mean we can't get a break to the upside. Doesn't mean we can't get a bullish break, but we might need to put in a few more 4-hour candles, right? We might need to kind of trade within this pattern a little bit more. So Litecoin, that could play into the story of Litecoin lagging behind Bitcoin a little in terms of a move. So the bullish setup is there. We've already broken through the this white symmetrical triangle. We've broken through the upside. As we always love to track, we're revisiting the upper trend line, right? Always want to see a revisit, a conservative revisit, and we always want to see support. That support here at the upper trend line of this longer term symmetrical triangle plays perfectly into the ascending triangle. They're like beautifully confluent with each other. And from here, if we can start seeing upside, this could be a thing where we see a breakout this weekend for Litecoin, closer to 70% to the apex. Right now, around 50%, right? This is what it could look like. A bounce off the symmetrical triangle, some upward momentum, breakout through the upside. What does that look like for Litecoin? Right now, around $155, $156 target to the upside. Obviously, we know anything can happen. Litecoin can lose all support where it is right now on this 4-hour chart, can lose support at this upper trend line. We could be at the lower trend line in the 120s at the snap of a finger if we lose support. But we definitely have our targets to upside. Litecoin definitely looking bullish, especially if Bitcoin can remain bullish. So that's what we're looking at. I see all these people being like put in timeout and deleted. Well, actually, it's just one person. Thanks, Steven. Taking care of business. I love you guys. You help me so much. I don't say that enough at all, but you guys are awesome. Wanted to look at the weekly on the LTC BTC pair because, I talked about this a week or two ago, which essentially was Litecoin catching up to Bitcoin in terms of dominance, right? Even 0.02 on the LTC BTC pair. Many people wanting that. Last time even testing that was February 2018. Are we going to get it? And I think even bigger question is, not only am I going to get there again, I'm pretty sure we'll get there again, but will we see strength above it instead of, just keep breaking back below it? You can see going back to like 2013, Litecoin consistently seeing resistance right at that area. And right now, obviously if you look at the daily chart on the LTC BTC pair, it's like, Litecoin's looking weak, we're down. But I think if you're long on Litecoin and you're interested in the long term, see Litecoin's down 20% on LTC BTC pair in like the last 8 days, and it looks ugly. But if you're long on Bitcoin, if you're long on Litecoin, and you're interested in the strength of Litecoin in that pair, it's probably better just to zoom out on the charts, right? Because here's this 20% that we're down since June 12th or whatever. But on the weekly, it could be a period of consolidation. What we really want to see is if we can, right now in this pattern, start forming some higher highs and higher lows, right? So even 20%, 30% consolidation is not bad for Litecoin if we can remain in a pattern of higher highs and higher lows. So for now, playing into a potential pattern, this is potentially a very bullish pattern for Litecoin, this inverse head and shoulders on the weekly chart, right? What we want to see is a continuation of this right shoulder. So for that to happen, it's really all we need right now is higher highs and higher lows. So that means, from even where we are right now, another 10% or so to the downside isn't the end of the world. If we start kind of coming back down and trickling down, then, this could be a different story. And it's just something we have to continue tracking. The one good thing on the weekly chart on the LTC BTC pair is this. If you look at it, what do we have? We have this 50 moving average, which, back in May was looking ugly, right? We were heading down towards a 200 moving average. We had already, had a swing high, and to actually that point was 41% to the downside, 50 moving average moving down. But thankfully, Litecoin turned around and saw some power, right, in a swing high from that swing low, 38%. Incredibly important, because what is it doing? It's turning that 50 moving average around, right? We didn't cross below that 200 moving average, and this is on the weekly chart. That was incredibly important. We didn't want that to happen at all. So what we want is that support of the 50 moving average above the 200, and right now the best bet for that happening is a series of higher highs, higher lows for Litecoin. So Litecoin doing its thing, let it continue doing its thing. Bitcoin, if we're really evaluating what Bitcoin is doing today, it's nothing crazy, right? It's up a few percent, but I think it's just that breaking out of that resistance area of around $9,300 or so, where we have this ascending triangle in play. It's breaking through that, and I think a lot of people aren't even tracking the pattern, but they've look at the chart so much, they see 9,300 always just failing to break. And I think today, in the last, I don't know how many hours, breaking above it gives people that bullish feeling. Rightfully so. Because not only does it just feel bullish, it actually looks bullish on the screen. We broke through the upper trend line of a bullish ascending triangle pattern. That is bullish. So right now we have to wait and see. We can go and we can look at the MACD on the 4-hour. I think it gives us some clues in terms of what could potentially lie ahead. Litecoin in the last 8 hours or so above zero, or Bitcoin in the last 8 hours or so above zero on the histogram with upside momentum. You see the MACD line crossing above the signal line right there. A first step to a longer term bullish indicator. We have it on the daily bullish cross. MACD line June 15th crossing above the signal line. This can be a massive move, everybody. Momentum potential for it is there. You see it. Bitcoin on the RSI right here, pointing upwards towards that overbought area. Bitcoin wants to be overbought. Bitcoin wants $10,000. The bulls want $10,000. Will it happen? I don't know. Time will tell. I have one thing to say to you right now. Litecoin Summit 2019. Get your tickets. Go. If you're on the fence, I just want to throw it out there. I'm not gonna shill it, but I'm gonna bring it up every once in a while because I would love for you to go. Obviously, I'll be on a panel with John Moore, John Kim. It's gonna be fun. October 20th, 29th, Las Vegas. Put on the back of your mind, and it would be great to meet many of you. Just want to throw that out there. So those are my thoughts today for Bitcoin and Litecoin. Steven Herzog bullish on 12,700 by Saturday. That would be amazing. That would probably make Saturday even more epic for everybody at that meetup. So if you're a replay viewer, if you're here right now and you're not a subscriber, everybody, hit that subscribe button. I would love to have you kind of join me on this Bitcoin and Litecoin journey, this bullish journey as we enter a new era and as we really take part in our own way in the advancement, the innovation of the way that we do things in terms of payments and in terms of the decentralization of our money. I appreciate you guys coming by. I hope you're having a great day. As always, I will see you in the next video. Have a great night, and God bless.